Hello and welcome to Creighton Corner. I'm Patrick Kilcoyne here with the director of the Lead Art Gallery, as well as assistant professor of art history, Dr. Aaron Evart. Dr. Evart, I would like to start by asking you to tell me a little bit about what you do here at Creighton.
Sure. I have a split position. Part of my job entails directing the Lead Art Gallery in the Fine and Performing Arts Department, and the other part of my job is teaching art history classes here.
Can you talk a bit about your background? I mean, what prepared you for your roles at Creighton?
Sure. My PhD is in classical art and archaeology, which obviously prepared me for my career as an archaeologist, as well as teaching classes on ancient art and archaeology. I also have museum experience. Most recently, I was the assistant curator of ancient art at the University Museum at University of Missouri, where I oversaw exhibitions of ancient art, which helped prepare me for my job as the gallery director here.
All right. Before coming to Creighton, did you teach anywhere else?
Yep, I taught ancient art survey courses at the University of Missouri, and I also had a one-year position at Lawrence University, which is a small liberal arts college in Appleton, Wisconsin, where I taught courses in ancient art history and Greek archaeology.
And I understand that before coming to the Fine and Performing Arts Department, you were part of the Classics and Near Eastern Studies Department. Are you still involved with them?
Of course, yes. Because of what I do, I'm an ancient archaeologist. I study the ancient Mediterranean. So by definition, it's interdisciplinary. So to get a complete look at the ancient world, you need to look at all the evidence from history, culture, the languages, as well as the ancient art. So what I do really fits well in a variety of departments, including art history and classics.
All right. Now, like you said, you earned your PhD in classical archaeology. Do you have any particular areas of specialization there?
My research interest centers on early Greece, specifically the geometric period. This is probably a period before the area you know of where we have the big marble temples, marble statues of Greece. It's before that, so after the fall of the Mycenaean palace culture, but before the flowering of archaic Greece. And it's a very exciting period. We don't know a whole lot about it, and new excavations are changing what we know of this so-called Dark Age period of Greece. And then, of course, because of my excavation, I also specialize in the archaeology of Cyprus, which is an island, the easternmost island of the Mediterranean, which is a bridge between the Near East, Egypt, and Greece.
All right. Speaking of excavation, would you be able to talk a bit about some of your archaeological fieldwork? A little bit more?
Sure, yeah. As an undergraduate, I went on several small-scale excavations in North America just to learn basic field techniques. But as a graduate student, I began excavating in the Mediterranean, most recently in Corinth, the American School of Classical Studies excavations there, where I was a trench supervisor. And I've also been excavating at Athenu in Cyprus since 1997. And I've been the assistant director of that project for the past several years.
Interesting. So how do your specializations in fieldwork impact the classes that you teach here at Creighton?
Well, archaeology, as you know, is a constantly changing field. Every year, new things are excavated from the ground. Some of these sort of tweak what we know of the ancient world, but other discoveries radically alter our understanding of ancient civilizations. So as an archaeologist, it's imperative that you stay up to date on those findings. So I bring what I find at my own project into the classroom, but also just from being active in the field, you learn what's going on in projects all over Cyprus and Greece through being in those places and also attending conferences. And I bring that into the classroom because it keeps my information up to date, but also I think the students really enjoy seeing excavation photos. They feel like they're getting the most recent information, much of which hasn't even been published yet.
All right. Would you be able to describe some of the classes you teach here?
Yes, I teach a range of classes. For the past several years, I've taught classes on Greek history. I've also taught classes on ancient art, including Egyptian and Greek art and archaeology. I also teach the survey art history courses, the Western survey as well as the non-Western survey course, Art International. I also teach upper-level classes that deal with more specific problems in ancient archaeology. The most recent one was a seminar on Greek sanctuaries, where we looked at really the archaeological evidence for religion in the Greek world. And this semester I'm teaching a course for the Department of Classical and Near Eastern Studies, which is really the introduction course that majors in that department take.
All right. Now moving on to the gallery, can you talk a little bit about what it means to be the director of the Lead Art Gallery?
Yeah, as the director, I basically plan what shows we're going to get for each academic year, and then I oversee the installation of those shows. So in a nutshell, that's what I do as gallery director.
Right. Could you describe some of what's been going on in the gallery this semester?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, normally throughout the year we have a variety of shows that include showcasing the work of the visual arts faculty at Creighton as well as our BFA thesis majors. But then we also try to bring in outside artists from Omaha, from around the country, or even international artists. This semester we were fortunate to have our big show is an installation called Watered Down by Creighton alumnus Matthew DeHamers, whose studio is now in Kansas City, Missouri. And we invited Matthew to do a custom installation, meaning he created a work of art specifically and only for our gallery, which was very exciting because it was the first custom installation we've had in quite a while, but also because we asked him as an alumni to do something that spoke to his experience both in our department and as a Creighton alumnus. And he chose as his topic, as you know, the global water crisis. And I was excited about this because it allowed me to branch out and really try to get people who normally wouldn't come to an art gallery to come because the show operated on so many different levels. So we were very successful in obtaining sponsors from throughout the university, not just in the College of Arts and Sciences. And I feel that we also were able to bring in people who might never have come to an art show because they were excited about this topic that touched on issues of sustainability, environmental awareness, and also human rights issues. And so it was a very exciting show to work with. And then we also, which just ended, had a BFA thesis show, which was wonderful. And one of the students, Sarah Stormberg, also had an environmental slant to her work as well. So that was an interesting tie-in for this semester.
All right. And what do the students have to look forward to next semester?
Next semester, we also will have another senior BFA thesis exhibition, as well as a show that highlights what local Catholic high school students are doing around Omaha. So a little bit different to look at high school art. But our main showcase will be an outside artist, Edgar Gerens, who is from Lincoln, Nebraska. A lot of his subjects are set in Nebraska, but he's gone on to work all around the country and has lived in New York City for quite a while. His studio is in New York City, so he's a very successful artist today. And this show should be exciting because it's different from what we've been doing in the gallery. His work is very dark, very psychological. He does portraits, many of which deal with especially male midlife crisis, the issues surrounding that, and his family from Nebraska. So a lot of them are set in Nebraska, and they're very large-scale charcoal drawings, so they're monochromatic, and again their subject is very dark, very psychological, very intense, and because of their large scale I think it will be quite stunning to come and see that show, which opens in January.
All right. Well, we have time for one last question. You've taken over as director of the Lead Art Gallery fairly recently. What direction do you see that going in?
One of my goals as director of the Lead Art Gallery has been to increase the audience, get more people to come into our gallery, people that might not normally go to an art gallery or museum. So I've really been trying to broadcast and advertise to a wider audience. To do that, we have developed a new website that I think is more accessible to people not only at Creighton but the broader Omaha community. I've been trying to bring in shows that touch on issues that have broader relevance, such as environmental issues or humanitarian or social justice issues, so we can bring in more people from the Omaha community. But my other goal has been to increase student involvement with the gallery, to really try to get more Creighton students involved on many different levels of the gallery. To this end, I've increased our visibility on social networking sites. We have a Facebook page now, more and more fans every week, a Twitter account, just to try to bring the gallery a little bit more up to date and accessible, especially to young people at Creighton.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, Dr. Evart, for spending this time with us. This has been Patrick Kilcoyne for Creighton Corner. Thank you.